I'm going to show you the perspective of a new sales rep. So, someone who just joined the company, 1 or 2 weeks out of sales boot camp, and they've gotten their first deal ready to a stage where the prospect wants to review a contract, wants to review an order form, and hopefully get this deal booked. So, I'm going to walk you through the process of how our sales reps go from starting in Salesforce CPQ all the way through getting an executable ready contract into their prospect's hands. So you'll see here that I'm in Salesforce and I'm looking at a CPQ quote. We use Salesforce here internally, but at Ironclad with our open API, we can integrate with any CRM. So if you're using something other than Salesforce, you have the ability to build out similar types of flows using our public API. Here within Salesforce, you'll see that I have my quote configured. So I'm selling this prospect multiple products, different quantities, and really the value here is integrating deeply with your existing CPQ process. I think something we all know is that implementing CPQ, it's a big project. It can be a bit of a bear to set up all your price books, set up all your discount rules, and it works great for what CPQ does best, which is managing products, managing quote lines. What I think about is managing the numbers of the deal. Where CPQ can sometimes start to cause some headaches is when you need to pair all of that structured commercial data about what your prospect is buying with the words of the contract. So which special terms get added for which products? What do we change in our legal fallbacks based off the nature of what the prospect is actually buying? The way we've thought about this internally at Ironclad is CPQ controls the numbers of the deal and Ironclad controls the words of the deal. So here as a rep, I've got my deal all set up. I went through my CPQ flow, and then I'm just going to select Create Workflow, and I'm going to choose my sales order form and MSA. One cool thing about Ironclad is that we can support virtually any type of contract. So you could imagine a similar flow for getting NDAs out the door with a single click, case study agreements with prospects, really any type of agreement that you'd be entering into. So I'm going to land on this form natively within Salesforce. A key thing here is that everything is automatically pre-filled. So there is no manual data entry for your sales reps to do, assuming they have all the right data set up on the opportunity, the account, etc. So we talk to a lot of customers, and they have sales reps manually in Microsoft Word, kind of copy pasting out highlighted text, putting in signers information directly in the Word doc. That is a really tedious process, and it's a process really prone to human error. So huge value here in just having these forms pre-filled with data from Salesforce. So as a rep, everything here is pre-filled. We're pulling over all the structured information from my deal. And then I have a few options to customize my deal within guardrails. This first one here I love to talk about is this question: would you like to request an offline MSA for the customer to review and redline? And then we have some guidance on we can either reference our online hosted terms or our offline MSA. And so this is something new for us at Ironclad, where in addition to having the option to send our prospects a Word doc of our terms, we're also trying to increasingly steer folks to this online version of our enterprise services agreement. And in some of our initial data since rolling this out, of instead of having a 10-page MSA get attached to everything, instead just referencing these online hosted terms, we've seen something around a 40% reduction in our redline rate with prospects. So really valuable thing for any sales team that's trying to do high velocity deals. One of the best things you can do to speed up your deal cycles is drive down what percent of deals wind up getting negotiated. And referencing these online terms through an Ironclad Legal Center is a fantastic way to do that for your high velocity segments. Moving on through here, I have a few other options at the bottom of this form to add some special terms. The way I think about special terms are kind of easy gives, or what we often think of as kind of Lego blocks that you can stack onto an agreement to quickly make it custom for your prospect. And what I love about this feature is it gives our sales team a lot of leverage. In a lot of companies, the only way to negotiate is to run everything through legal. And legal obviously has a huge stack, and sometimes they can't get to everything same day. What special terms allow you to do is, in partnership with your legal team, create a menu of things that are easy gives for certain prospects. So for example here, I might want to ask for customer case study or reference because I know that I'm giving the customer a special discount, and in exchange, I want to make sure that we have the rights to do a case study with them 6 months down the line. So I'll check this box here, and then I get a few follow-up questions, and I can select what kind of case study I'd like to do. Finally, a little feature here, something that we just released, but I actually just think is fantastic and our team is loving, is this preview button. And so what this will do is on the fly, generate a preview of my order form within seconds for me to sanity check before I actually hit submit. And what our sales team loves about this is it can be kind of daunting as a new sales rep to hit that submit button and know that you might be kicking off an approval chain. Maybe your boss is going to be brought in to review your deal. And this preview lets you just really quickly get a snapshot of the exact quote that you're about to generate and what it'll look like for your prospect. The other thing that's just worth calling out here is that a preview is fast. I think for folks who are used to doing things in CPQ, there's sometimes a little bit of a spinning wheel that you face in CPQ. And these Ironclad generated previews are really snappy in generating a preview of the document on the fly. So this all looks good to me as a rep. I'll go ahead here and hit submit. And at this point, I'm good. My deal has kicked off the relevant approval chain, and any folks who need to chime in for me to get this out to signature have been automatically notified. And I was automatically redirected to this Ironclad workflow object within Salesforce. And the beauty of this is entirely within Salesforce, I can see everything happening within my deal. So I can see what signatures are coming up, I can see the document itself, as well as if there were any approvals, those would be outlined here. Of course, if I want a deeper dive, I can always click this workflow link, and that'll redirect me to Ironclad in a new tab. Something that we're really excited about that is coming out in the next couple months is adding some more interactive functionality to this Ironclad workflow object. So in just a couple months, not only will you be able to see the status of your approvals within Salesforce, but approvers will actually be able to hit the approve button directly within Salesforce, and that'll automatically sync over to Ironclad. So huge value here when you've got sales execs who live in Salesforce, legal execs who live in Ironclad. They can all work together, approve in their go-to system, whatever they're most comfortable using, with the confidence that every approval will be synced back and forth across systems. Other really exciting thing here is adding just a higher level of granular signature data directly here within Salesforce. So not only will you be able to see if someone has signed, you'll know when they viewed the signature envelope, what time they looked at it, and really be able to, as a sales rep, I don't want to say obsess, but stay pretty glued to your deals at the end of the quarter and know exactly what you're waiting on to get both parties signed and get your deal booked. Final thing I'd love to call out here is just our updated mobile experience. So we've put a ton of work in this quarter into making sure that not only is this a great experience on desktop web, but it's also an amazing experience on mobile. So for approvers who might be out of office, maybe someone is just about to head on vacation, but you want to make sure they can hit approve before they're out of pocket, they can now, within their mobile device, open up their browser, hit approve, and get a really awesome mobile optimized view of the deal, both within Salesforce and within Ironclad. So with that, that really covered what we think of as that high velocity experience, making it really easy for a new sales rep to put together a standard deal, know that they're staying within the guardrails, and get it out fast, entirely from within your CRM. If you've recently implemented CPQ, maybe you're thinking about it, or maybe you're just thinking through your quote to cash process more holistically, please reach out. We'd love to share how adding digital contracting through a tool like Ironclad can really accelerate your closing process and make it much easier for new reps to get up and running quickly.